Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're into motorbikes. And as a result of that, you probably already know what a quad lock is. And you might have even invested in one yourself. I did. I think it's a fantastic idea in principle. It's a way of mounting your phone to the handlebars and giving yourself a satellite navigation unit, so when you're out on a ride, you know where you're going and how to get around. And like I say, in principle, it's a great idea. But the reality is, most modern smartphones this day and age are around £1,000. And when you go out on a ride and you get caught in the rain, well, it ends up getting absolutely soaking wet. And if that doesn't kill it, well, there's also the danger that the vibrations from the bike through the handlebars are going to ruin the image stability within the camera and cause it to have all sorts of issues and shakes and just basically break the phone. And if you're really unlucky and live in an urban environment, then you're also running the risk of some absolute scrot bag on an e-bike coming flying past you when you're sat at a set of lights and trying to rip it off the handlebars. So there's a lot of dangers with mounting your phone to the handlebars. And that is why I'm excited about this little bad boy. This is the Beeline Moto II. Beeline were kind enough to reach out to me and offer me the opportunity to unbox this and show you guys just what it can do. And I can sit here and pretend to know exactly what I'm talking about. But the truth is, I should be honest with this right from the very beginning, I never owned the first generation Moto I. I've always just used my phone. Like I say, I bought a quad lock. And I put up with all the issues and stuff that come with doing that. But with that in mind, I did go on a ride with a mate of mine who actually had the Beeline Moto I. And watching him use the app and plot the route, trying to pick the most fun routes and stuff on it and then lead the ride, whilst my phone battery quickly depleted on the handlebars, did kind of sell me on the idea of picking one of these up. So when they asked me if I wanted to try the new Moto II, I said absolutely, where do I sign? And that is why we're here right now doing this video. Inside the box we've got the device itself. It's a compact little thing that's not much bigger than a smartwatch. Then there's the universal mount that uses elastic bands, or O-rings if you like, to fit around various different sizes of handlebars, a USB-C cable for charging, and all the usual paperwork that no one's ever going to read. It's neat and it's tidy and it's not drowning in plastic, so it's always nice to not have to spend half an hour unboxing and swearing at packaging. The Moto II looks similar to the old one, but it's marginally bigger now. We have a 53mm diameter with a proper 1.45 inch colour screen. For fans of the old one, don't panic, it's still discreet compared to smartphones, but the extra size does mean you can actually see without squinting like you've lost a contact lens. If you're budget conscious, it comes in plastic, but the one that I've got here is finished in the silver metal option, and it costs about £20 more than the plastic version. And they also do a gunmetal finish for the same price as a silver. Whatever you choose, it's waterproof, shockproof, and has a coating to stop the glare coming back at you in sunny days, so no matter how sunny it gets, you're always going to be able to see. So in short, it's a properly tough little bit of kit, which, you know, you can't say about modern smartphones with all their glass fronts and backs, and you just look at them funny and they can shatter. So onto the controls. This is apparently the biggest improvement. As I've said at the very top of the video, I actually had no use at all with the Moto I. I've had no experience trying it or using it, but if you go on any forums or go on the internet and go to the comment sections of any videos on it, plenty of people do report that the buttons around the edge of the original Moto I are a little bit fiddly, especially when they've got gloves on. So, with the Moto II, gone are all the tiny little side buttons, and instead, you get this big front-facing rocker switch, so the whole edge and bezel of this device is one big button that rocks left and right and up and down. It feels nice and chunky, nice and precise when you're clicking it, but most importantly, it's definitely going to be glove-friendly. So whether you're wearing summer gloves, or your winter gauntlets, or even a pair of oven mitts, it's going to work absolutely faultlessly. The real headline in all this is the screen of the new Moto II. To note, this is now a full colour, double resolution of the old one, and is bright enough to see in direct sunlight, so they claim, and all the videos I've seen stand up to that testament. When it comes to navigation modes, fans of the original Beeline Moto will be glad to know that they've kept the classic arrow mode built into it, and you can turn that on, so you get that nice little arrow that we're familiar with the original Beeline Moto. This is the simplest display, and it's actually quite refreshing to use as opposed to like those big colourful maps that we're used to with smartphones. But it's also very minimalistic and can result in a few wrong turns. Not an issue if you're just out for an adventure with nowhere in particular to be and no time to get there. It's all part of the fun ultimately, isn't it? But it might be problematic if you're trying to get somewhere for a particular time. Worry not though, for those situations there is a new mini-map mode, which shows a road layout around you, and that means fewer wrong turns at Spaghetti Junction and fewer missed exits, and obviously fewer excuses for why you've turned up late. It's not just the screen and the buttons that are improved. the Moto 2 now comes with some additional extra features over the Moto 1, and actually the guys at Beeline have promised to keep the Moto 1 up to date as far as possible to make sure it doesn't get obsolete. But the new feature in the Moto 2 are things like your ETA, so it'll tell you your estimated time of arrival. It gives you speed limit alerts as well. It gives you a little symbol on there telling you the speed of the road you're on. All the kind of features you'd expect from a much larger, fuller satellite navigation or from your smartphone. Plus it's now got a bright LED on the top of it with a little built-in speaker which will beep at you when your turn is coming up. And it also means you can now pair it with a Bluetooth headset if you've got one in your helmet. And that will give you those audio cues as well as full spoken turn-by-turn instructions, I believe. So again, like I say, all the sorts of features you expect from a much larger, fuller satellite navigation, just in a nice, sleek, minimalistic package. So that approach has remained with the Moto 2. Now on to battery and charging. As I said quite hilariously, I haven't charged this yet. I've just taken it straight out of the box, and when I try and turn it on, I just get a charge me symbol. But I'm told it has a 600 mAh battery. I have no idea what mAh means, but that translates to around 14 hours of riding time on a full charge, which is more than enough to get most weekend warriors from A to B and back again. And it's also suitable for those looking for longer adventures as well, because I can't imagine riding for much more than 14 hours. But here's the part I love. It charges with a standard USB-C, much like 99% of other household modern electricals. So you've probably already got a charger or two kicking around the house. So, you know, that's really handy. And if your 14 hours battery life is just not enough for yourself, then there's the option to get a powered mount that hooks up to your bike's battery. It does cost an extra £50, but it does charge your device from these two little weatherproof pins that are on that adapter, and it means you'll never have to worry about charging. When it's plugged into the bike, it'll stay fully charged. Is that lazy? Probably. Is it worth it? You have to ask yourself, is 14 hours not enough battery time? Only you can decide. Now, talking of the charger, I think it's worthwhile that we start talking about mounts and the mounting options. In the box, you do get the basic rubber band standard universal mount, which works for literally most bikes and can be fitted to 99% of handlebars. The idea of the universal mount is it can be fitted quickly and easily and taken off just as quick and easy. But if you want something sturdier and a bit more premium, you can go out your way and get yourself a metal handlebar mount, which is this one. Okay, there's even an AMPS compatible plate which can be bolted down if that's more your style, and there's actually a mirror mount as well. All of them cost between £20 and £30 depending on the mount you pick. And if you want the power charger, as I've said, you will need to buy an additional mount for it, because you have to take the middle out of this mount, attach that, and then wire it to the bike. So yeah, I can already hear you furiously typing in the comments section and venting about how expensive this is all becoming. But hold your thoughts on that, because there's a little bit more to come. And I don't know if it's going to upset you more, or I might hopefully try and explain it away. So onto the app and route planning. Like the Moto 1, this device doesn't work all on its own. You do need to download the Beeline app for your phone. Now, to download the app is completely free, and to create an account is also completely free, and that's what you need to do to get started. You're able to plot your routes, save your favourites, and decide if you want to go there the fastest route possible or have fun on the way. As you'd kind of expect, fast gets you there quickly, and fun will hunt out the twistiest routes that it can to get you there, hopefully grinning from ear to ear. There's more to the app as well. It lets you track and share your rides with friends, save GPX files, or even import routes from mates. Now, you know I mentioned there was more to come on the price point. Well, the app itself is free, and most of the features available, the ones you need, are also free. But there are a few that are locked behind a subscription paywall, and that costs £35 a year, or £3.99 a month. Now, I know, before you all start foaming at the mouth and angrily ripping apart your keyboards and ranting at me, I did reach out to the guys at Beeline and ask why, and their explanation is pretty simple, and I kind of understand the thinking. Basically, these additional features cost Beeline per user, and if they were going to go about absorbing that cost themselves, either the Moto 2 would become more expensive, or they would have less capital available to develop new features and products. So in short, without Beeline Plus subscription apps, we probably would still be looking at the Moto 1 and this video wouldn't be happening, and we wouldn't have this new Moto 2 in our hands as an option for us to use as satellite navigation. They also plan to keep using the subscription money that they get in to develop new features for the Moto 1 and the Moto 2. So they've vowed to keep the Moto 1 as up to date as possible to ensure owners and users of that device aren't forced into buying the new version. The other thing to note with the subscription is it can be cancelled and reactivated at any time with no contract, and they even offer a free trial for the first month. So you can test out all the features and the benefits of having the Beeline Plus app before you commit any money to it. And I personally don't think you can say fairer than that. Also, remember how I've already said the Moto 2 is all about having fun and going on an adventure. And part of that fun, for me at least, is missing that turn and discovering a new road in the middle of Wales and taking that ride, taking in the scenery and just not being distracted by a large screen on my dashboard telling me to turn around and make a U-turn and having all these notifications from friends and family that might WhatsApp me whilst I'm out on a ride flashing up on my screen. So the basic package of the Beeline Moto app is more than capable of getting you where you need to go. And with that in mind, now's your opportunity to unload into the comments and let me know your thoughts on the subscription model and if you think it's reasonable or if you think it's a complete rip-off. And while you do that, I'll try and round everything up so you get a proper idea of the total cost and comparison of going about buying yourself the new Beeline Moto II. So, what is the total damage to my wallet for the setup I have in front of me? You can get away with just spending as little as about £180 for the plastic version. Or, if you wanted to go for one of the fancy metal ones, it's £200 for the metal one, and you can be done with it at that point because you get everything you need in the box, and you don't need to buy anything additional. But if you want to go for a premium mount, like this one, or the charge adapter, such as this one, and a nice little carry case to go with it, so we can keep it all nice and safe in your jacket, then you soon get to £300. So this whole set here would set me back £300. Now I know that's not pocket change, but compared to dropping your £1,000 smartphone on the motorway, suddenly it starts to feel like a bit of a bargain. Also, for comparison, a simple quad lock setup like the one I've got on my bike is going to run you over £100. And if you start adding things like charging adapters for the quad lock, tamper-proof screws, you upgrade the phone case, you get yourself a screen protector, you go for the all singing, all dancing, fancy pro quad lock mount, then the prices start rocking up and you soon start knocking on the door of £200. Don't even get me started on SP Connect and Peak Design options as well. They're lovely bits of kit, but they're very, very pricey. I'm also fully aware that there are fake quad lock options available from the likes of AliExpress. But are you really willing to trust your smartphone to a £19 phone adapter on a handlebars, knowing full well there's no company to go back to should that mount fail and your phone disappear down the motorway? So what are my final thoughts? From what I've seen, bearing in mind I've not turned it on properly yet, I've had it on for a little bit to have a play with the app and that, but I've not actually used it. But from what I've seen and from everyone I've spoke to, the old Moto I, all those complaints that they had about it with the simple instructions and missing turns, the fiddly buttons and so forth, and the screen resolution not being quite high enough, that all seems to have been fixed. You get the same clean minimalist vibe, but with better usability, proper map mode, and alerts that are going to catch your attention and ensure you don't miss your junction. So if you're a rider who hates faffing around with big sat-navs, or you just don't want that big phone strapped to the handlebars because you're trying to get away from everything in life and have a nice ride to clear your head, then this particular device I think is absolutely bang on. It's simple, it's sleek, it does exactly what it needs to do, and I'm looking forward to testing it on the road. If you fancy one for yourself, click the link in the description below. You'll be supporting me and the channel, because by doing so you'll be giving me a little bit of commission, but importantly, it won't cost you a penny more. The price is the price of the device. And if you've not subscribed already, make sure you do, because I'll be putting the Beeline Moto II to a test in the coming weeks as I use it to navigate across the country from my home city here in Chester right the way across the country to the east coast town of Bridlington. I'm going to be seeing just how good this device really is at getting to your destination, putting it through its paces, and I want to find out just how much fun the fun routes really are. So thank you very much for watching, and thanks to the team at Beeline again for sending me this out to make this video. If you guys have got any questions at all in the comments, then drop them below. I'll do my very best to get back to everyone. And hopefully I get to see you out on the road soon.